thank you all for being here today, and it is such an honor to be standing here in front of the folks that are turning our country around, getting our freedoms back, working from school boards on up throughout the country. The moms have had it, and they're united now. You saw in this Glenn Youngkin race over in Virginia what they did. They did yeoman's work over there, and they're taking that all over the United States. It's an honor to be here today with them. We need to take our country back. I flew in this morning on 4 hours sleep last night, and I was told to put my mask up over my nose, over my mouth, and only take it down briefly between sips and bites. If you're drinking coffee or eating something, only between sips and bites. That needs to stop. What happened to the great and powerful Fauci? I mean, he told us that the air filtration systems on airplanes were the best anywhere. I've been flying twice a week all through COVID, out here and back, 4 flights a week. It takes me 2 to get out here and 2 to get back. And I think that the country is ready to get back to normal. And all these mandates and everything that they've put on people. I have a discharge petition on the House floor in there to stop this craziness of getting rid of everyone in the military that hasn't been vaccinated. And I want to encourage all of my colleagues and anyone knows, if your congressman hasn't signed my discharge petition in there to get this off of our military. A 35-year-old and a 34-year-old man and woman came to me. They'd been in 19 years. She's nursing. Nursing was not an exemption from this vaccine mandate, which is absolutely unbelievable. So we need to get back to normal. We need to quit kicking people out of the military. That's their whole life. How would you like to be in the military and your whole career was built around a career in the military, and after 19 years you're told you're no longer needed because you won't take the jab? So it's an honor to be here with Moms for America. Kimberly Fletcher, the founder and president of Moms for America, is the one that got all this movement going, and it's literally all across the United States. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to my buddy, Kimberly Fletcher.
Thank you, Congressman.
Well, I just want to make sure and thank Congressman Long, because without him, we wouldn't even be able to be here and do this. And so it's always nice when someone realizes the importance of a mama's voice and gives us an opportunity to exercise it. So I don't know if you guys know, but today is International Women's Day. And I couldn't think of a better way to celebrate International Women's Day than to give women an opportunity to speak about what matters to them. And right now we have a lot of moms here who have come from across the country to share their own stories about the issues that they've dealt with and the freedoms that have been taken from them, from the mandates, the things that are happening in their classrooms and their communities, and why it is that we're standing up for freedom and the Constitution. So there is a great quote by Alexa Tocqueville. When he came to the United States, he said he looked around and he was looking at what was the beauty of America. What made us so different from everyone else? When so many other countries had tried to do what we did, why did it succeed here? And there were a couple of things that he noticed. One thing he noticed was that the churches, that the people met in the churches, and the churches were so strong, and they connected the people in the communities. Another one was associations. He said every time there's a problem, someone starts an association, and it's not a government. It's a local group of people, moms, dads, and he said largely moms, who are forming these associations to deal with an issue or problem. They didn't go to the government. They did it within their own communities, and that really impressed him. Another thing was he said everybody knew their freedoms. They knew it. They knew what their constitutionally protected rights were, and there was no way that you could take it from them. Whether it was a farmer or a businessman or a storekeeper or a member of Congress, there was no way that you could take their freedoms away from them. And then the last thing he said was, because of what he learned and what moms were teaching their children in their homes at the kitchen table, was righteous women in their circle of influence, beginning in the home, can turn the world around. So I want you to know that as Moms for America, we're on a culture-changing mission, and we're ready to turn the world around. We don't like where it's going, and if we don't like where it's going, we have the ability to change it. So every mom that's going to talk today is going to tell you their own personal experience, why it is they got involved, and I am thrilled, just beyond thrilled, to be able to introduce someone who not only was fed up with what was going on, but decided to step on the front lines and run for U.S. Congress. And so one of the rock star moms in the country today who's standing up for moms' parental rights, our constitutionally protected rights, Congresswoman Lauren Boebert.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kimberly. Thank you all for being out here today. This is amazing. On International Women's Day, you know, it's incredible. It's so amazing to be a woman. A lot of men want to be women nowadays too. So praise the Lord. I am a mother of 4 boys, and it is the honor of my lifetime to have my boys. And I don't want anyone to ever discount being a mom, being at home, raising your children, instilling values in them that will last for generations. That right there is the most powerful thing a woman can do, is be a mom. So many people want to be influencers, want to have a microphone, be on TV, on stage, but the most influence that you can have is in a child's life, and teaching them what this world is all about, teaching them what their future can be, what eternity is all about, that it's not just over when we're gone from this life. But being a mom of 4, I was really frustrated at government's overreach. It's not big government that makes makes America great. It's we, the people. And this overreach has definitely gone far enough. I pulled my 4 boys out of public school when they reinstated the mask mandates in our county, in our school district. This was very frustrating because we've seen the data, we've seen the science, and now we see the CDC director is saying, oh, well, maybe we were just a little too optimistic. Maybe we weren't cautious enough about risks. Well, this is what we were saying for more than a year, for nearly 2 years, about masks and vaccine mandates. And now the CDC is saying, oh, well, maybe we didn't think it all the way through. We wanted it to work. We wanted vaccines to work. Well, we want a lot of things. That doesn't make it science. But I am honored to join Moms for America today as we speak out against the horrific mandates that have been placed on our children. Last week at Biden's State of the Union, he acted like COVID is over and that we should all be grateful for Democrats allowing us to go back to our maskless lives. Well, I reject that. COVID vaccine mandates are still in place for our military, still in place for medical staff, and there are still children masked and bound in schools across America. For the last 2 years, the freedom we have as sons and daughters of God and Americans have been under attack. Now we are seeing the COVID hysteria die down for a bit, but Biden went from wearing an N95 mask outside in an open field all alone to headbutting and slobbering all over Democrat members on the House floor. Not because the science changed, but because the polls changed. Isn't it sad that the reason some of these COVID mandates are going away isn't because of the harm they have caused and the freedoms you lost? As you'll hear from these moms today, it's because Democrats feared a bad midterm if they did not change course. That's horrific. And it shows you how little many in the halls of Congress actually care about their constituents back home. The people who elected them. They care more about the polls. You know, I'm extremely proud of Governor DeSantis, America's governor, a former member of the House Freedom Caucus, which I am a proud board member of today. Governor DeSantis is someone who has led on protecting folks throughout the pandemic while respecting their freedoms. He respected their choices. In Florida, the Department of Public Health is now recommending against the COVID vaccine for healthy children. When we have government agencies disagreeing on the science, mandates have no place, and Americans, right, left, and center, should reject big government trying to make that decision for moms and dads. We moms are here today to say enough. End the political science, end the theater, follow the actual science, and respect our personal choices. Thank you so much, Kimberly, for having me here today. It's an honor to stand with you all. God bless you and God bless America. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. So as we head on to our all of our moms who will be speaking, people keep asking us, why is it that we joined the People's Convoy? So we loved the message. If you've been on the People's Convoy website, they have a declaration, and we stand by that declaration. And just as Congresswoman Boebert said, when President Biden said the mandate's lifted, we're all good. No, we're not. All across the country, even in Florida, moms are faced with these challenges in their own communities, their own counties, because we have government officials who are way overstepping their authority. So this is our truck, and obviously we can't bring it into the city, so we brought it into the city this way. Yes, it's real. It's amazing. It's a 48-foot flatbed truck, which allowed us to hold impromptu rallies everywhere we went, and we've been able to meet with moms and families across the country. And I'll tell you, it has been incredibly inspiring, and I have been in awe of what we have seen as we have traveled from state to state. Every single overpass had people of all different races, ages, colors, religions, all coming together, flags. We had firefighters. We had members of local government. In Missouri, we had the Attorney General who was on the overpass with big fire trucks and flags, and it was amazing. So everywhere where we went, we saw this. And along the side of the road, in fact, we had to slow down at times because we were afraid of running into people. They were right up against the highway. And there were places where we would come and there would be lines of truck cabs just there with flags and waving. They couldn't jump on the convoy because they had to work, but they were there in solidarity for the purpose and the mission. So what is the mission? It's pretty simple. This is about freedom, and it's about the Constitution. And we did not give this authority to the government. They don't have it. And this truck was about going across the country and making sure not just Washington, but every state, every county, every school board knows. We as parents, we as mothers, have fundamental supreme rights protected in the United States Constitution. And therefore, we are rising up to stand and defend that Constitution of the United States that protects us. Members of Congress, they raise their hand to protect that Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And now a huge bunch of them have become the enemies that they are sworn to defend and protect us against. This is not okay. Maybe we haven't been on the fight in large numbers as moms across the country, but we are now. And these moms are here to tell you their own personal story and why they are here, why this truck is important, why this movement is important. And if it makes government officials take a second notice for no other reason than they know that the moms are coming to the ballot box, then so be it. So I like to turn the time over to our ladies, and you can hear their own stories.
Thank you, Moms for America, and Kimberly for inviting me to share my story today. My name is Kimberly Rosine, and I'm a 43-year flight attendant with United Airlines and a member of Airline Employees for Health Freedom, a group of over 2,000 strong fellow employees who are suffering as a result of the vaccine mandate our company imposed. I am the mother of 4 grown children and 3 beautiful grandchildren. The attack on my co-workers and my religious and medical freedoms began on August 6, 2021, when our CEO announced the vaccine mandate. I immediately sought a reasonable accommodation based on my faith as outlined in Title VII. I did everything required of me, including answering all questions, some deeply personal. When I was finally granted an accommodation, United gave me a forced, unpaid leave of absence for an unspecified amount of time that would end when United arbitrarily determines the pandemic to be over. I lost my insurance, my past privileges, and after 180 days, I will begin to lose seniority. To top it off, I am prevented from retiring while on this forced personal leave, and I need permission from United to seek outside employment. For a few weeks, while the courts sorted out our status, I was forced to fly with an N95 respirator mask for the safety of others, a type of scarlet letter. The division and misinformation sown amongst our co-workers to divide us into 2 separate groups, the clean versus the unclean, seemed designed to shame those of us with an approved religious or medical exemption from getting the vaccine. These safety measures had the intended effect, as many of us were treated with suspicion and outright hostility. Keep in mind, most of us had been working safely during the entire pandemic before a vaccine. What had changed? Why were we now unsafe? We went from being heroes to zeros. On my last day of work, November 14th, 2021, I attended a required annual qualification training in Chicago. I entered the same building I had entered 43 years earlier, except this time there was no excitement, no sense of a brighter future on my horizon. My dream, alive and well for 43 years, was dead, killed by a corporate mandate that required me to trade bodily autonomy for my job. I do not regret my decision to stand for my faith. However, it has come at a cost. There is tremendous stress on me and my family. Aside from the financial issues, the stress has manifested itself into high blood pressure, depression, and anxiety. I suffer bouts of sadness, anger, despair, grief, and fear of what the future holds for me should I never be allowed to return to work. The loss of income has severely impacted my life and my future plans for retirement. Friends and family have questioned my decision to stand and fight for my religious freedom and rights. Why risk losing my job? I risk because of those 4 grown children and 3 beautiful grandchildren who will grow up in an America neither their parents nor I will recognize if I don't take a stand. Their religious and medical freedoms will be a thing of the past. I risk because neither the government nor corporate America have the right to get between my God and me, or my doctor and me. If we as mothers, grandmothers, and Americans do not hold our leadership, either in government or in the private sector, accountable when they reach into our lives and play God or doctor, there will be no stopping their reaching into and controlling every aspect of our current and future generations' lives. If we allow that to happen, we are lost. With religious and medical exemptions being honored by our competitors at Delta, Southwest, and American, and mandates being revoked across the country, my coworkers and I demand that our religious freedom, our medical freedom, and our jobs be restored now. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It is such an honor to be here to stand with all these moms. I am so honored to join Moms for America as an executive director. My name is Keisha King, and I'm a mother of 2 daughters. And I'm so proud to join this amazing team. So I read some news reports about the truckers' convoy, and one publication said that they had no idea what we were doing and why we were doing it. So I want to inform all those people who have no idea what we're doing and why we're doing it. Like many Black Americans whose families have been in America for centuries, our ancestors were slaves. My great-great-grandfather was born a slave, bought his freedom, taught himself how to read, and acquired almost 400 acres of land that my family still lives on today. It is the principles of this great nation that even made his victory possible. My great-great-granddaddy is the example of what you can become in America. You can be born in bondage, but die free. You can be born poor, but die prosperous. It is our God-given right to seek and fight to keep our freedom for ourselves and our posterity. Those who fought in the American Revolution did not fight and die for our rights to be used for your political power games. Men like my great-great-grandfather did not risk everything for politicians to snatch away our ability to work and make our own medical decisions. Let me be clear. American fighters for freedom will not go quietly into the night. We understand exactly what is at stake. Our freedom is not to be played with. And our rights will not be stomped on, and our voices will not be silenced. So if we have to drive across the country, if we have to pull our kids out of government schools, which I have done because of the indoctrination and the mandates, if we will do whatever we have to do to protect our freedom. And we will not submit to those who seek to take our freedom away. So I hope I've made myself clear on what this is about. We will continue to fight until every American can make their own decisions on what is best for them. Americans will never go quietly into the night. So God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
Hi, everyone. I am Sandra Jimenez, and I am a mom of 4, 2 girls and 2 boys, and a grandmom of 2 wonderful grandchildren, 6 and 5. My whole family has been fighting for parental rights and freedom for many years, and has had to make some hard choices, including my daughter, Alicia. My daughter worked for a company based in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Yes, the same city where George Floyd died and BLM and Antifa rioted and burned down our city. And with it, a police precinct, even though the governor had us in a complete lockdown. The corporate office was only 2 blocks away from Ground Zero. I thank God every day that my daughter was working remotely due to the pandemic. Not long after the terrifying incident, she was told by management that she had to take a required racism sensitivity course. Then came the state-mandated mask and vaccines. Our family no longer felt safe and free in Minnesota and quickly moved to Florida with DeSantis. But for my daughter, it did not stop there. Her company was forcing her to get the mandated vaccine, even though she was working remotely and no longer living in Minnesota. She felt she had no choice but to quit her job because we believed in freedom to choose. We all have been fighting these tyrannical demands on our family, especially our children. As soon as we moved to Florida, my daughter and I immediately got involved in the fight again because our tyrannical school board demanded our children wear masks, not only in school, but during recess in 95-degree heat. Once the district's mask mandate was lifted, we knew the fight wasn't over, but didn't know in what direction we wanted to go. When we found Moms for America, my daughter and I both knew very quickly that this organization was a good fit, because as moms, we stand for the freedom of future generations, and that begins with all families in their fight for freedom, both inside and outside the home. And that as leaders of our household, we needed to equip our children with a love and understanding of our God-given rights. So I would like to leave you with a final incident about an encounter that I had a few days ago and how it really touched me. I happened to be at the mall in search of warmer clothes. I am from Florida and it's cold here. When a young woman behind the counter noticed the Moms for America shirt I was wearing. She asked me what we stood for, and I told her that we are a national movement of moms that fight for our culture of truth, family, freedom, and the Constitution. We have a network of over 500,000 moms nationwide. As I was speaking, I noticed she had started to tear up, and she told me that her husband was an auto mechanic and that his company told him that he had to get the vaccine or he would be fired. They also told him that not only did he have to get the vaccine, but everyone in his household had to get the vaccine, which meant his wife and his daughter. They were all forced to comply so he could keep his job. She told me that they did not want the vaccine, especially for their daughter. She thanked me repeatedly for fighting for hers and everyone's freedom. As I walked out, I knew then that God had put me and my family on this path to fight with all of our moms here for our freedom. Thank you, and may God bless you, and God bless America.
Good morning. My name is Corinne Hammond. I am a small town girl from Montana. I'm a mama to 2 feisty ranch kids, a ranch wife, and a nurse of 15 years. And I'm tired of where this country is heading. I've been watching as outside influences grew and the family unit dwindled. As a ranch wife, I've been watching political agendas and policy creep in and strangle those who live in agriculture. As a nurse the last 2 years, I've been watching as we jumped into the unknown, being good soldiers, doing what we were told was right. But then we started to see inconsistencies. The rules kept changing, and some of us started to question a few things. We are trained to speak up when we see a potential issue or problem. We are trained to say, I have a concern. It is supposed to stop the clock. It is supposed to be a judgment-free pause because people's safety is on the line. But as we spoke up this time, the opposite happened, and we were met with the weird judgment and a cold shoulder. With the federal mandates rolling out, trumping our state laws, a division was created, and tensions, fear, and mistrust grew as shaming and blaming were incessant. The hospital wanted those that were unjabbed to wear a yellow sticker as an identifier on our badges. We started to see side effects and adverse reactions, but still at the end of the day, our options were get the jab, submit to voluntary resignation, or submit a religious exemption form with sketchy language that felt like a trap. Effectively, we had to choose between our livelihood and our morals and potential well-being. People have mocked our movement for freedom and called us conspiracy theorists. In my opinion, though, the choices we were presented with weren't that of a free country. I heard a fellow Montanan recently say, if you remove the white stripe of freedom, it doesn't matter if you're red or blue. And I can't agree more, because when you break it down, if we don't have the freedom to choose, we are under control. And where there is risk, there must be a choice. I am not an activist. I am not a politician. I am not even a public speaker. Clearly. In fact, I would prefer to just live and let live. But we are in a time where staying quiet is the same as complying. So here I am in DC, still saying, I have a concern. 5 of us nurses back in Montana took action as the federal mandates ruled out by starting a group to support one another and anyone else in need. As you can imagine, it grew quickly. And the most common thing we heard was, thank you, I thought I was the only one. What we learned as we organized events and flew speakers in was that we could have an impact. In fact, we learned we were the impact. People like you and ordinary people like me. But we have to say no. It's time to remind the government that this country is the greatest country because it is of the people, by the people, and for the people. This requires involvement, though. So my question to you is this. Will you do your part? Will you stand for what is right, even if it means being uncomfortable? Or will you comply to maintain a little longer? Thank you.
Hi. Oh, thank you.
Hi, my name is Kelly Joyner. I'm from Chicago, Illinois. I'm a mother of 3 beautiful daughters. This movement is so important to me today that I had spent 50 plus years avoiding this very thing. I am conquering my biggest fear, and that is speaking in public. I work for the city of Chicago for going on 23 years. I'm 11 months shy of being able to retire. In March, we were sent into lockdown, March 21. Everybody except fire, police, which were frontline workers. All of a sudden, we were told we were essential workers. So we worked through the whole pandemic with no concerns of us catching a mandate or a virus or anything until May. And all of a sudden, we were able to go out, and that's when riots started. Magically, thousands of people were in our streets, bricking our buildings, setting them on fire, and our mayor sent us essential workers out individually in the cars to try and stop this. This went on and on until August of 21. She gave us a mandate and told us that we have to now be vaccinated or we will be put on no paid status, a non-disciplinary no paid status. And that was it, one single announcement. But it was my union who jumped in and constantly, from texts to messages to came out to our union, literally threatening us. I was told if I don't get the vaccine, watch and see what happens to me. I was hung up on, belittled. They would not give us answers. But it wasn't only the vaccine. They also told us that we have to sign a portal which we have no idea who's behind it, what it is. All we were told was we had to put our ID number in. Our ID number consists of fingerprints, your social security number, your address, your children. And by the way, I'm a mother of 3 daughters. All of their information. All we knew was a third party received this information. To this day, today is 141 days. I personally and a few others are on non-disciplinary, no paid status with no ending in sight. The mayor, directly after her election, got on an interview and actually said she was going to make mandates and that she was the only way to work for the city is if you pledge allegiance to the New World Order. She actually said this. She's also told us in an interview, or a tweet actually, that being unvaxxed will be very uncomfortable. And it was by design that she will take away all the things we love. As of last week, one of our court dates, the city lawyer told our lawyer that they may let us back, but we would have to sign agreements that we will not ask for any of the money that we lost in these 5 months, nor will we sue them. And they literally told my lawyer that they are starving us out. And she could keep this going for as long as she wants. My thing I've noticed in the city of Chicago is with unions. Unions are behind all of this. From the teachers union to they're the silent. Like I said, the mayor made one statement, one memo. Everything else came from our unions. And everyone's scared to death to stand up to these people. And it's nothing but corruption. But this is a whole new ballgame. Is they are attacking everybody. And if anybody is in a nice state like Florida with Santa's, it's just a matter of time. Because if they conquer New York, Chicago, and California, don't think they will stop there. They will keep coming. That's why you see all union jobs. We worked, like you said, the whole pandemic, all the riots, just like the teachers, the police, the firemen, the nurses, that's who they're attacking. Once they conquer us, nobody else is safe ever again. Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you, Moms for America, for letting me this opportunity to speak in the Capitol. My name is Catalina Stube, born in Colombia, growing up in the middle of a war between 2 drug cartels. I dream about a peaceful, happy family life and came to a country which used to believe in life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Well, not anymore. Now I have 4 children, victims of this radical left agenda. They are indoctrinating them from K to 12, corrupting their minds, robbing their innocence, creating gender confusion, and dividing them by race.
They are afraid to speak their minds, for real, of being silenced and canceled by the woke teachers. Our kids are taught to hate America, to deny God, and go against their values of respecting life. The school divide by skin color or medical choice and normalize abortion, drugs, and sexual choice. They coerce even little children to wear a mask for 40 hours a week, ignoring science, state laws, and medical exemptions, and deny them education if they do not comply. The Department of Justice went as far as labeling concerning parents as domestic terrorists and sent the FBI to spy on parents who speak out at school board meetings. Among these militant left plans to change or destroy affecting directly these young generations are our natural rights to defend our children, parental involvement in public schools, the nuclear family, gender, traditional morality, Judeo-Christian values, and free speech. But only if we allowed it to be. We will protect, defend, and promote the American family at all costs. The nuclear family is crucial to civilization. It is God's design for humanity, and it must be protected and celebrated. We will protect our freedom to educate and guide our children, and also to decide over their health. My children, my choice. I will not teach my children to be victims, but to be victors. Together we can teach them to be strong, confident, independent, to become entrepreneurs, inventors, and develop their own creativity. It will be great to have a government that works with the people and for the people. I believe we can have a better education system focusing on the growth of our children instead of the control of the parents. Schools should be all about student empowerment and academic excellence. The reason we are here is because we had enough, and we together are going to change things. We have the right to stand for what we believe, for our values, because it's the only true legacy we can leave to our children. Thank you.
Thank you, Moms for America, for allowing me to be here, and for you sharing all of your wonderful stories. My name is Shar Fenton, and I'm a mother of 2 boys. I became a freedom fighter with Moms for America because they have given me the tools and confidence to fight for God, my family, and my country. We have all witnessed our constitutional rights being attacked, whether it has been our churches being closed, the masking of our children, being coerced to take an experimental poison, no coverage or little coverage in the mainstream media, especially with our beautiful, impressive truckers convoy. The list goes on and on. I am a small business owner of a trucking company and know all too well what's going on. I actually worked for 6 years. I've worked 2 full-time jobs. We barely break even when it comes to the amount of pay that we receive, as well as in the difference of the cost we are experiencing. We live day to day, paycheck to paycheck. This struggle is real. Our industry has been hit especially hard. Fuel prices have doubled in little over a year, which means that many owner-operator truckers are going out of business. And as you know, truckers are the heart of this country, as well as mothers. We have seen increased regulations and restrictions on our cargo. We have been coerced to take the jab or lose our livelihoods. It is hard to find necessary equipment to run our companies effectively and do our jobs. However, as I rode with Mary on our Moms for America big rig, which I personally like to call the big rig the Purple Passion. And the reason I call the big rig the Purple Passion is because it has given us a voice and a passion to speak and work together. I asked Mary, the driver of the big rig, the Purple Passion, I asked her, I said, in one word, can you describe what you are seeing out here on the road? And she said, that's hard, one word. She said, unity. That word unity was confirmed throughout my time on the convoy, going through many states. I think I went through about 6 or 7. However, some of the moms here went through all the states, from the West Coast to the East Coast. Watching the truckers and the mothers work together to make our voices heard has been a great sight to see. The overpasses were filled with like-minded patriots. We even had a helicopter fly around the convoy with the American flag. At several stops along the way, we had this huge, and I mean huge, American flag opened up and lit up. If I leave you with anything today, it is this. We can no longer expect that others are fighting like we are. If good people don't do something, we are complicit in this evil. We must become active in our local communities. We must work as hard for the primaries as we did for the general election. We cannot let up or give up. This is how we continue to win, and I guarantee you we are winning. We are going to win, especially with mothers and truckers. This is how we win. We get back to church and we pray continually. We teach our children and ourselves our local state constitution as well as our federal. We take our children to the rallies and Freedom Fest and 4th of July parties, and we do the flag waves and just get involved in our school boards. I don't know, when I was on the convoy, I saw so many of the children doing the universal symbol to honk that horn. And let me just tell you, to see that and just the thrill of the patriots out there, we must stay involved. We must get involved. We cannot give up. With God's help, moms and truckers are going to take back this country. For more information, go to momsforamerica.us. However, you will also see all the pictures of the convoy on keepfreedom.com. Now, may God bless America and protect moms and truckers. Thank you.
Great job, moms. I'm the last speaker here. We'll have a couple closing comments from our president again, but good morning, everyone. I'm Debbie Kurlitis, Vice President of Moms for America. The moms are here today, right? We are standing united to share a message that we believe is on the hearts and the minds of all American mothers, and that is freedom. As President Reagan said, freedom is a fragile thing, and it is never more than one generation from extinction. It is not ours by inheritance. It must be fought for and defended constantly. Defended constantly by each generation, for it only comes once to a people. Those who have known freedom and then lost it have never known it again. As a mother of 3, my heart resonates with this quote in a very special way. Why? It's very, very simple. We as mothers are instinctually defenders by nature. We carry our children in our womb. We birth them into this world, or we may even have the beautiful option of adopting them into our families. We cultivate their hearts as mothers. We teach their minds. We protect their lives. And we love these little humans far beyond what words can ever describe.
We will defend the Republic because this land, America, offers a horizon full of beautiful opportunities and a place for our children to dream and to succeed. Our mission at Moms for America is reclaiming our culture for truth, family, freedom, and the Constitution. That mission that you just heard, we took that on the highways all across our amazing country. We left our kitchen tables and we hit the road. We united with truckers and Americans from every walk of life, defending freedom. Trucking for Freedom is giving moms a voice everywhere for parental rights, medical liberty, economic freedom, and our children's education. It is for hardworking citizens, for doctors and nurses that have been silenced, for children to breathe freely, for churches to stay open, and for the foundation of our country, the Constitution. We have heard stories here today. They almost sound unreal, don't they? But sadly, they are true. They are devastating to parents. They're destructive to our families, and they are crippling our country. This is not what America is, and surely this is not what our founding fathers visioned for us. To the mothers here, to the mothers that are watching, you are the defenders of this generation. I say thank you to those that have championed freedom and have spoken up, because obviously it has not been easy. We must continue to look to God, our Maker, and not to the government. We must also speak the truth and be warriors for liberty and protect our precious families. Moms, you are the defenders. Our ask here today is very simple, and it is very clear. We want Washington to mandate freedom.
Yeah.
That is our ask. Thank you. Thank you to all the moms. Thank you, Congressman. Thank you for everyone that is watching. I do want to mention again, please visit our website, momsforamerica.us. Join our movement, reclaim our country, protect our freedoms, the great republic for these children and generations to come. God bless you. God bless America. Again, momsforamerica.us. Let me have you just close again with our president, Kimberly Fletcher.
So we had a rally in Loudoun County, Virginia, that famous location that stood for parents, on Saturday. And I met an amazing couple. They came here from India several years ago, and they came with $20. You guys have heard a lot of these stories, right? They came with $20, and that's all they had to live on for a whole week. And they had a little toddler. And I said, how did you do that? And the mama said, well, I fed them bread and butter and milk when I could get it. And I said, where did you live? And they said, well, we lived in a motel, and we told the motel owner that we would pay them at the end of the week, and I hoped that my husband would have a job. Today, he is a professor at a university. Their son is a commander in the Navy, and she is running for U.S. Congress. And what they told me was only in America. We came here for freedom. There are two things I want to say in closing. Lawrence Gold was a former president of Carleton College, and he said, I do not believe the greatest threat to our future is from bombs or guided missiles. I don't think our civilization will die that way. I think it will die when we no longer care. And I would insert when we have lost faith, have abandoned virtue, and given up all affection for our country. This isn't just a geographic location. This is the venue that God chose to be the light of the world and the place where freedom would abound so that the whole world could look to it. This is the hope of the world. Judge Napolitano said, in the long history of the world, only a few generations have been granted the role of defending freedom in its maximum hour of danger. You are that generation. This is your role. Now is that time. Freedom must be defended from every assailant in every corner of this country, from outside the country, from inside the country, and especially from the government that wants to take it away from us. This is our time, and I am asking all the mothers to rise up and stand united with us to protect our Constitution, our freedoms, our families, and everything that we hold dear. I want to thank you for coming. We're happy to take questions, and all of the moms, now that you have met them and know their individual stories, they will be here to answer any questions and do any interviews following. Thank you so much.
All right.